Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Morning Coffee Chat Show. I'm super excited, right? Today's Monday. So, for those that are not in the Midwest, we have snow early in Chicago. Like, I'm literally like, wow. We were super excited last Monday, and then now we're looking and it's like, oh, it's snowing now. Um, so yeah, it's a snowy day today, but we'll make it through. We'll make it through probably one more week, you guys, and then we'll get better weather. So who am I? I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self-Development Efficacy, WISE for short. We are a community that empowers women. We help women become unshakable, faith-filled, and purpose-driven through coaching, retreats, conferences, networking events. We have just all these great things that we put together to help women become a better version of themselves, get to the next level holistically. We also have a sub running community where we encourage women to first, we want to encourage body positivity, but then at the same time, we also want to encourage health and wellness and just becoming healthier, right? So that's what we focus in on. And then, of course, I'm a mom of three beautiful girls, and I'm also a real estate investor, and I that's who I am. So take it away, Kim. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimberly Montesinos. I'm also a mom of two adult children. I am an entrepreneur. I have several businesses. My main business is Crystal Clear Cleaning, which is a residential and small commercial cleaning business. I love serving this community and helping women who just want to go to another level in health, mindset, or just, being in a safe space. So, I I'm pretty shocked too, Jennifer, about this weather. I really got acclimated to those 70-degree days, and now I'm like, hey, it's Chicago, right? We
Yep,
adjust.
absolutely. We do adjust. We've seen images on social media talking about how Chicago is this crazy weather. Um,
Hmm.
but
It's
we'll
all
we'll
good.
we'll make it. We'll make it. Like we always do. So we keep pushing. Um, so let's go straight into the segment that we always go into where it's coffee time. So for those that are watching or watching the replay, we want to encourage you to share what you are drinking this morning. So I have my a wise woman once said a la chingada, F, F this. And she lived happily ever after. And I love this mug. This mug really encourages me to just have a I don't care attitude, right? Good morning, Sonia. We have one of the women of our community on with us. I'm glad to see you. Share what you're drinking, and I'm actually drinking green tea this morning. So that's different for me. Oh, we have another good morning. It's Miriam. Good morning. What are you drinking, Kim?
Well, I get to my coffee, but it was one of those mornings. So I have my Yeti, and it all, I always have cold water in here. And what I love about these is they keep the water cold. And my doctor recommended this, besides Mary Yee in our community about drinking water. So I just keep this. It's like my backup when I forget something. So I have my Yeti with water next to me. So that's how I'm going to start my day today. A little bit different.
Nice. Nice, nice. Oh yeah, we have water, water, water for sure. Sonia said a bottle of water this morning with my pre-workout. Awesome. That means she's gonna work out. That's amazing. We have Uni. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Uni. We have another Facebook user drinking water, water, water. I don't know
Wow.
whoever the Facebook user is. See, if you're writing from the private group, we can't see who you are, right? Um, and then Angel, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Angel. And then Sonia said, then my café de canela con ginger and garlic. Wow.
Wow.
Ginger and garlic. Garlic.
Wow.
I admire the garlic. And then I know she Uni's replying to Sonia saying yum. So good stuff this morning. So yeah, green tea. I know Kim's drinking water. So keep adding in there if you're drinking anything. We're like you get to learn somebody by what they're drinking. So I love to hear what you guys are drinking this morning, but we were gonna go into the topic because I thought, okay, what can we talk about? We have a lot of things launching this week. We're launching another Biggest Loser. We have coaching in the fall. I mean, we always are running something, right? But I know when I was talking to Kim, she asked me, what are we focusing in on in our coaching community, right? Which, because right now we're running a cohort and we're focusing in on mindfulness, right?
Mm.
Um, being more mindful. So it's like, well, why not talk about mindfulness this morning? And those that, whoever's watching, chime in and share what your thoughts are on mindfulness. But Kim, when you think of mindfulness, what comes to mind when you think of that?
Mindfulness for me kind of goes in kind of together with intentionality. So not just doing things without a purpose. Like you go into something and you're mindful, you go in preparing yourself, like what could happen, like going in with your goals but also having a plan, like okay, because life doesn't go how we plan it, right, as you know, right? And when you and the longer you live on this planet, the more you understand that it's not about the destination, it's the journey. So the more mindful you are about your journey, you're able to, I feel, be more prepared when those obstacles come along. So having more like a plan A, B, even sometimes C. And then when you're doing what you're doing, be intentional about what it is that you're doing, not just let's see how it goes kind of attitude. You know what I mean? Like I used to, there's a person in my life that used to say, when something happens, I don't like to be offensive in my speaking, but this is verbatim what they would say. Oh, well, shit happens. Always, always, and I was like, yeah, sometimes that's the way to go about it, but things that are out of your control. But when you're mindful, you just have a different perspective of how you get up in the morning and how you walk your walk in the morning, throughout the day. And if you're mindful of it, I feel that you have more control or of you and how you react to your day when you're more mindful. Now,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember this piece in the cohort, and I know there were a lot of other snippets about it. So please remind me of how you were teaching it, because this was one that kind of I took and I was like, wow. But I resonated on a few others because it hit home to me. But I try to be mindful. That's something I innately kind of do daily, is just kind of be mindful of even what I'm saying, something when I'm talking to someone, be mindful of that so that you um, don't hurt the other person's feelings, or be mindful to be respectful when you're speaking to somebody, much hurting their feelings, but just be respectful.
yeah, absolutely. I think without, teaching the course on mindfulness that we're teaching, right, and giving too much information on how we perceive mindfulness, because mindfulness is different for different people, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's more, and I agree totally with what you're saying, Kim. It's like being mindful, like being aware, and I think
Hmm.
it's about the awareness of what's coming out your mouth,
Yes.
what's what or you're aware of what's going on in your mind. And sometimes, and this is something that I've shared with the women in the coaching group in the community, um, we are going on in our day to day and don't even realize the thoughts that are happening in our mind, right?
Mm,
Like,
mm.
you're not even keeping track of the thought process of what you're thinking, because that great quote that I love, like, be careful of what you, okay, hold on, I always mess it up, I always mess this up.
Okay.
Be careful what you think, because that's how you're no yeah be careful of how you think, because that's how you're going to speak. Be careful of how you're going to speak, because that's how you are going to be. And be careful how you're going to be, because that's who you are, something like that. And I might
Yeah,
have
yeah.
chopped up that quote, but it starts all with, your thinking, right? um and I think when we think about being mindfulness, it's just being conscious of what's going on in your mind, what's coming out of your mouth, and really
I think Jennifer froze, is frozen. So if you can hear me, Jennifer, but just to kind of keep going with that, I love the awareness part. Um, and I'll share a quick story that I had with someone over the weekend, um, where you froze, my dear.
the internet literally booted me out. So I was like, oh,
That's
I can't
okay. Go ahead and finish. I was going to tell a quick story, but I want you to finish your thought because that was really good.
Yeah, yeah. No, what was the last thing you heard? What's the
Well,
last?
when you explained the quote about, and then you were going to kind of go into it, um,
Yeah, yeah,
like being mindful, what comes out of like what you're saying,
yeah,
and it's very true. It's very
yeah,
true.
yeah. I think, um, with going with the quote that I was saying is if we're not taking control of those thoughts, because we have about 30 thoughts a day,
Mm,
30,000 thoughts a day.
yeah.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
30,000 thoughts a day we have. And if
Right.
we're not even mindful of what we're thinking throughout the day, can you imagine what our life looks like? Like our lives are products of our thought of our thinking.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna
absolutely.
say that again. That's good. Our lives are products of what we think.
Amen. Amen. Why do you feel, we both have had coaching. Like I've been in your coaching program. I have a coach for my business. And I don't care what coaching program you go into, what, if it's a life coach, a business coach, a health coach, one of the things that's unanimous in coaching is they teach mindfulness,
Mm, mm,
right?
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've had mentors, different mentors. I mean, as you grow and and as your needs change, different people come and coach you in your life sometimes, right? Or different topics. But what's unanimous in all of those things that you start out with is mindfulness,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. And there's different ways of have doing mindfulness exercises, right? And that's the great thing what you just said, Kim, is start off your day with some mindfulness, right? Just
Mhm.
set the intention or the tone for the rest of your day.
Amen. Amen.
Even if you can't control those 30 thoughts per day, because 30,000 thoughts per day, because it is difficult, right? At
Yeah.
least set the intention or the tone for your day in the morning, right? Um,
Yes.
like one woman, there was a couple women yesterday, last night in our community, in our coaching group that said that that they feel like they have to make their bed in the morning,
Hmm.
because they feel accomplished once they make their bed. That leads them into feeling more accomplished, feeling ready to take on their day. There's plenty, like I think there was even a Brene Brown, I forgot who said, someone said that Brene Brown teaches this too. It's like you will achieve more and you will accomplish more just by getting one task done early in the morning. I thought that was powerful.
That's amazing. I love her anyway, but yes, that's amazing. And I think the mindfulness, because we don't have a long time to talk about this, but like for me, I love the mindfulness of setting your day. I love that. Like whoever said that about making their bed, I think that's amazing because I've heard that, Jennifer, where when you make your bed in your bedroom, when you walk into that space and it's made and it looks pretty how you like it inspires you. So, kudos to whoever brought that up because I've definitely heard that in different often said about making the bed. One of the things I learned was waking up to something positive, like listening to like Louise Hay, or praying. If you're praying and meditating in the morning, um, that's being mindful to set your day of a positive note. It does slip in or obstacles. We don't even have to say negativity. When obstacles in life, when you set that mindset, that mindfulness, when you started off positive, making your bed, doing your prayers, meditating, whatever you believe in, listening to a Brene Brown or a Louise Hay, it just lifts up your energy, your spirit. It helps you. And also for me, the mindfulness, because we're leaders in our like me and my business, you and the community, is when you're mindfulness is really important for a leader, because when we have to deal with difficult situations, if you're not mindful, that can come back
Mm-hmm.
and kick you in the butt,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's where where you have to be mindful of your words. Me as a leader in my business, I had a situation last week that really saddened me. I want to say that, right? It was very hard. But what I do, instead of lashing out, um, I'm quiet. Now you know me, Jennifer. I love to talk and hug, and but when you see me quiet and you
Mm-hmm.
and not engaging, it's because I am being mindful and allowing
Mm-hmm.
those emotions, if it's anger, if it's disappointment, whatever that is, I'm allowing myself some time to allow logic to come in instead of emotion, if that makes sense. And so for me, mindfulness is a lot to do with leadership, because we deal with, and sometimes it means we have to put ourselves in other people's shoes before we open our mouth or say something, because we want to be mindful of not being judgmental or saying something that you might regret. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying. Let me yeah, I mean, I think
Oh, I
that's
love that. Someone said the power of the tongue. Absolutely.
yeah, let me see. Let me share these comments. I know we have a couple here. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Yep,
Wow.
that's very true. Whatever you're dealing with in your heart, it comes out of the mouth. I totally agree. Scripture says. We have Mary. She said, "Good morning, chicas. Good morning, Mary. How are you?" We have Facebook user. I'm assuming that's either Liza or Mary. Mel Robbins 54321. Which that's a good book too, where she talks about just do it. Just count down and then do whatever you have to do. The power of the tongue. And then we have, yes, making my bed reminds that I did something right after a long day of feeling like I haven't done anything right.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
love that, Angel. Wow.
And one of the things is when you don't have control, you find something that you want to control, right?
Mm,
Like,
wow.
and I think even like in your example of the situation you had last week that made you sad, that instead of reacting, you held your tongue, right? Like
Yep.
you said, let me hold my tongue and not say what I really want to say or do what I really want to do. And that takes a lot of power to get to that point of control, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, but when and they say this a lot in therapy or different speakers, like when you're going through something chaotic or a stressful situation or event, what you could do is find something that you can control in the moment, right?
mm-hmm.
Because obviously when things are out of control, you yourself and people might not be able to handle it, you might spiral down. So find something that you can control in the moment. And
Absolutely.
this is actually great because we had this conversation, me and one of the runners yesterday, Esme, that comes out on Sunday mornings, because we have these really like empowering conversations during our runs. And we were talking about overeating, right? And how, when you are in a very stressful relationship or you're dealing with a lot of stressful things, sometimes people tend to overeat. And I know I'm an emotional eater, right? I know this already about myself. I remember getting upset and running, like when I used to work in a different company, I would go and run and grab like a handful of M&Ms and just shove them down my throat, like because in the moment I felt that was how I was taking control, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was
Right.
I was controlling what I was putting in my mouth. I was controlling how I felt in the moment. I gave myself some sort of instant gratification
Mm-hmm.
because
Yes.
of whatever I had no control in or whatever was upsetting me. I needed to find something that I could control in the moment, and that is how. we tend to, some overeaters, emotional eaters are. We will run to food
Right.
as a quick comfort and controlling. Something about, I can throw this in my mouth right now and make myself feel good. This is how I'm going to control the situation.
Right. And I think a lot of women do that. I mean, years ago I think I mentioned this in the community. I worked for Jenny Craig, and I was the onboarding counselor. And that's where I learned, ladies, that we are emotional eaters, because 90% of the women who came in, it wasn't because they just like to sit down and indulge. It was that they were running for every stressful event. And women deal with a lot more difference. I don't want to say more than men, but we handle multitask so many different things that if you count up each thing that stresses us out in a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to food, as you say, as that instant gratification, because that feels good, because what you're dealing with doesn't feel good,
Mm-hmm.
then you end up causing another issue, which is, having being unhealthy. And
Mm-hmm.
because of the community, I'm very much, I very much am a emotional eater. God bless you. Um,
Oh, thank
but
you.
what I did, for example, this weekend, when I was really just feeling soccer punched by a situation, I I went to work out. I have
Mm.
been trying to work out. Not trying. I have been working out since Mark had the heart attack, and my sister knew that, and my initial reaction was just to sit alone.
Oh.
But since I
Oh.
kind of shared with her what happened, she's like, "Come on, let's go work out. Let's." So when that happened, I went to the gym again. I felt instant gratification because I felt good about working out. Even though what I was dealing with was still lingering, I felt good. And then this weekend, I did disconnect from my business, and I went with my family, and I just chilled with my family. I didn't work out. I went and hung out with my family. And that really lifted me to, like you said, do something else that, you know, or engage in things that make you feel good, that no necessarily gonna make you overeat or do something else, but do a healthy choice to help you with that moment, and be mindful. That's a mindful, I chose, because of the community, like, I want to be healthy. So what are some healthy choices? Hanging out with my family, um, going to the gym.
Yeah.
I did have quiet time in the drive. I drove with my dog. I put the dog in the car and we went driving because it was beautiful this weekend. I had the windows open, and I was just asking God for wisdom and strength and peace.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
I prayed on those things.
Yeah.
So, and it worked.
That's amazing to be able to do that and make a wiser choice, right? Versus going to something unhealthy, because there are times where it's happened to me, like, oh, I just want this burger right now, like a juicy, fat, greasy burger. Like, right? Like,
Yeah,
who
of
does
course
not
that
do
crossed
that?
my
You know,
mind.
people do that all the time. Like, don't front, right? Not you, Kim, but if anyone's like right now,
No,
like you're watching.
it crossed my mind, but I didn't do it. But oh, I was really like, I could go for some burger and fries and a chocolate shake right now.
Yep, yep, yep. And in the moment it'll feel great, but then afterwards you're gonna feel like,
Yeah.
ah, why did I do that, right?
I'll
So
tell you
having,
why. Can I just let you know? Remember last week? Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? You said, I'm telling you, when people say things, listen, it impacts you. You were like, why would I invest so much in myself? And then you can have a bad day. You can even have a bad few days. But get it
yep,
together, ladies, because you've invested into losing that 20 pounds, that 10 pounds. Don't regress because you've already invested,
yep,
right? And so that came out of from you, Miss Sanchez, and I was like, let me think about this right now. When I was thinking about that burger,
yep, yep,
like, I've already invested 3 weeks into really being committed. That's going to really put me back, and I won't feel good. I won't feel, that's going to make me even feel worse, even though at the moment I'm thinking it's going to taste good. but what's that going to do for me afterwards? Nothing. So I didn't do it. So thank you again. That really, that's what I love about the community. You always find something that's going to impact you in a positive way that you might not think it does, but when the moment you need it, those that's what I said. I prayed for wisdom. Remember
Mm,
when I said that? Well, that part of the wisdom came when I was driving and I was trying to find something to eat with the dog, and I kept seeing Wendy's and Popeyes and all this stuff, and I was like, okay, I could pull over and get a Wendy's burger. But I was like, no, because
yep.
you've invested 3 weeks of really being healthy. You're going to feel terrible. Don't do it. And I didn't.
Don't do it. Yep, that's a great, that's a way to say it. Don't do it. This Facebook said it gives me comfort. It does. I'm an emotional eater when I'm stressed. Working out does wonders for stress. Absolutely, it gives you that natural high.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kicks up those endorphins. That's my go-to when I'm stressed. Angel said I will eat a ginormous bowl of pasta.
Angel, I love her.
That
Thank
is,
God she's not eating a banana cake or a banana pie.
yeah,
That's
yeah, Esme, she put driving, listening, and nodding in agreement. Esme, we were talking about this yesterday in our running community.
oh.
Um, but one thing that I've noticed even in myself is, with the whole, for those women that know, I'm separated, going through a divorce, right? Um, prior, at the end, it was just so stressful that I was just overeating all the time. I was throwing things in my mouth all the time, and it was just like, ugh, because you couldn't control the situation in the moment. So now weight just falls off. Like, you're not as stressed. And then that's when you see these women that have these glow ups. It's like, oh, you were really stressed out,
Yeah.
obviously, right?
Something's going on, right?
Something's going on, and then you lose weight. And now that it's been a year, and I'm kind of looking back, and I'm like, whoa, like now I can pay attention. No, like, the stress eating's not as much as before. I'm being more mindful of what actually I put in my mouth, right? Being more conscious of the things that I eat. And if I do eat bad, then, like you said, just pick it up the next meal, make it better, or the next day make it better, or detox, drink teas. I'm actually drinking tea because I wasn't very healthy on Saturday, right? Because you know, I had Little Caesars pizza for a bunch of little 9-year-old girls in my
Ah.
house, and cake, and some chocolate. So I was just like, oh, it's here, let's eat it. But I usually tend not to have chocolate in my house or cakes and stuff like that, anyways, because I eat it. I'm the one that eats that stuff. Um, so yeah, I love that we're talking about this because it's just being more mindful of what we put in our mouth, being more mindful of how we carry ourselves, being more mindful of how we talk and how we walk, and it happens. Sometimes we're not the best. There's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
bad days, but if
Yes.
but if we can have some intention set in the morning, even if we know that the rest of the day is gonna go to at least for the morning, right?
Right. Right.
Or in the evening before you go to bed, take
Yes.
control of the nighttime ritual, and be mindful of what you do at night, just so that you can feel like you have control of whatever situation you're in.
A wise woman said to me, do not go to bed watching the news. And because the news, unfortunately, tends to be a lot of negativity. So you take that burden to bed, and when we sleep, that's when the body regenerates itself. And, you don't want to take those negative thoughts. So just like you have that mindfulness in the morning, it's really important, Jennifer, like you're saying, to repeat that as you go to sleep. So you want to wake up and feed the body good, and you want to go to bed and feed the body good, so that you can have the most restful, intentional well-being of sleep for each of us.
Yeah, I don't even watch the news. I gave up on the news in 2020. Like,
Wow.
I don't watch news at all. Like, unless it's something that's like very, like, I need to know about this, it'll be on social media.
Right, right. Yeah,
you know
it's really, yeah. Mm-hmm.
if it's something very important or critical, I'll Google it. Or if I hear about it, like, okay, let me look into this. or I'll ask, but my weather, I try to get it from Alexa, or I'll ask, I'll look it up on my phone, but I really try to stay away from the news because I do not want none of that in
Is
me.
yeah, absolutely.
So I agree with you, Kim. That's a great idea for women. But I've heard that too from a lot of like wealthy individuals, especially when I used to do door to door sales. One woman told me the same thing. Don't go to bed and watch the news. Wake up and listen to something inspirational,
Yeah.
comedy, or a motivational speaker. Like I've heard that too from a lot of people. So that's great advice.
Oh, there's Jeanette. Hi,
Oh,
Jeanette.
yep. Here we go, Jeanette. She wrote, your body and mind goes over what happened throughout the day. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, with all of this being said, I want to make sure before I forget, there's a couple things that are going on in the community. We're launching Biggest Loser this week. Uh, we've talked about this before. Those that know it, it's for 5 weeks, we're gonna basically take control of our health and be more mindful of what we eat, and be more mindful of the scale. And it's not that we want to put all this emphasis on a scale, but we do want women to become more health conscious. So we put a challenge together for women to lose some weight or get healthier, or lose body fat percentage. If you can't do the scale, because I've noticed that even me and myself, the scale might not shift, but I lose body fat, which is great. That tells me I'm still
Yeah.
working hard, right? So I want to encourage anyone that wants to sign up for Biggest Loser. This is a week to sign up. It's just $25 to help be held accountable. Every week you jump on the scale, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of women love the Biggest Loser. Collectively, we've lost about 30, 40 pounds the last round, so we'll do another one this round. Another thing that we are promoting that I completely forgot to share was we do have a private membership community. And in this private membership community, we have our guest speaker. She's going to come on. Her name's Christian. On the 20th, she's going to be teaching on how to heal the inner child. Now,
Ooh.
that's deep.
Ooh.
That's deep because even yesterday we were talking about updating our standards, like how we see ourselves from a child's point of view. Like, did you update your standards since childhood? So she's gonna be talking about healing the inner child, and I think
Wow.
sometimes we need that. So in our private membership community, she's going to be teaching that in there. So I'm really excited because this is all about like health, wellness. We're reading that David Goggins book right now together as a community, which is like phenomenal book. um,
What's the title of it for those?
for the David Goggins book.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus Christ, help
that's
me.
okay.
Somebody write it in the chat because I'm like,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean,
uh, you put me on the
I
spot
forgot
here.
it too. That's why I asked.
Because he has, hold on, I'm opening up my Audible if no one says it real quick. Never say die. No, that's not it. What is the book called? Library. It's called Never Finished.
Never finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry
we're
about that. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, if you're not a member of our community, you need to sign up, right? So, why? Because you get monthly accountability calls. We do book club together. We have guest speakers and bonus trainings in there. Oh, there we go. Thank you, whoever wrote Never Finished. And this is where I'm excited about the speaker that's going to teach. She's going to teach about healing the inner child, and I think there's a lot of us that haven't healed those inner childs, right? So it's going to be powerful. So thank you so much. I see someone put girl. I don't know. Is that Liza? I'm like, who's the one that tells me that? So,
I
um,
just hope that if you're listening and you're not a part of the community, I did a class on the inner child. And that is, I cannot wait to hear what the speaker this month has to say on that, because that is such a healing component that it is definitely deep and powerful. So, ladies, you wouldn't want to miss that. Just for that, it's worth the membership. Just for
yeah,
that. Oh my
absolutely.
goodness. Not and the book, obviously, of course, that book is going to be great. But wow, I'm really excited. Very excited about that. The speaker.
Someone put so we have Elizabeth on. She said, good morning, Elizabeth." And then I'm pretty sure this is Liza. But no, this is a great conversation. I thank everyone that was on with us or watching the replay. We do want to be more mindful and set the tone and be mindful what we're thinking throughout the day. And I think this was an empowering conversation. So thank you, Kim, again for always being on with me and running this show with me. I appreciate the
Oh,
time you invest in this.
oh, I appreciate you and I appreciate the community. I said this is my making my bed. So my bed's not made yet, but what I do Monday morning is I love jumping on and sharing my time. It definitely inspires me and sets the tone for the week for me. So thank you.
Yeah, no, no, no. I think, yeah, I love it too because it does set the tone for the week. So I
Yeah,
agree with you.
yeah.
What is the fee for joining the community? So we have a monthly fee. It's $35 if you want to be a member. $35 a month. We have a yearly fee. It's 350. So you get a discount if you choose not to be monthly. You get a discount by doing 350. And then we do have a bonus one as well. If you want to get a virtual business card in addition to the yearly, that's 500, and that I'll share more information with you about that. But yeah, so that is the wrap. That's a wrap for today. Thank you so much, ladies, for watching. Thank you, Kim, and you guys have an amazing rest of your week. God bless you.
God bless you. Have a great week, ladies.
Bye.